New York greets the new year. This is Ben Grauer reporting from the marquee of the Sheraton Astor Hotel in Times Square. Traditional vantage point for this traditional gathering to salute the new year. And we're reporting as we have for many years in the past. And the signal event is one which you can hear and needs not to be described. The screaming, abounding enthusiasm of the mass of people who have crowded into Times Square. Even as I talk to you, you could pick up the decibel increase in the voices as the magic moment arrives and 57 leaves as 58 enters. I would judge as I look down to 40th Street and up to 47th Street or Longacre or Duffy Square that there are 750,000 people within my view. The average age must be about 20, 25 years. There are nobody but youngsters in this crowd. They couldn't take the screaming, the pushing, and the jam-packed situation. Actually, they're saying goodbye to the year of the Sputnik, so the average age here is 2 months in the sense of the space age, which this year 1957 has brought to all of us. It's been a rather quiet New Year's elsewhere. In one of the smart East Side spots, the head waiter told me that they were just as many guests, but they were drinking half as much champagne. There's a light drizzle here in Times Square, as there is in the central part of New York City, but it doesn't diminish the ardor and enthusiasm of this crowd of youngsters, which is ready, as they always are through the history of the world, for any adventure. They're eager now for the adventure promised by that magic moment when the ball on the top of the Times Square building, the New York Times building, descends in a blaze of glory. It's starting to move. There's 10 seconds to go. You can hear the crowd picking up. 58 is on its way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ball is starting to slide down the flagpole, and it's the signal that 58 is here. Happy New Year is the phrase. Kisses and maudlin shoving and happy embraces in the crowd below us and all across the land within the sound of my voice. I say Happy New Year to my beloved, as everyone says to his or her beloved, and we face the new year 1958, a grievous year of agonizing self-appraisal for the nations of the West and for America as Sputniks whirl overhead in their 2000th orbit around the world. As the year 1957 departs, there is no sign of anything but jubilation here in this crowd. Now I see some of the youngsters have jumped up on one of the traffic signs. Those two boys have another lad on top of their shoulders, and he must be 15 feet above the crowd. It's a sort of a triple stand mountebank act the boys are putting on here, but they don't care. Another one has gotten to the top of a traffic sign with the red and green lights, and he's standing on top of that. It's a most precarious perch. It's the same sort of blinding, devil-may-care enthusiasm which we witnessed here on VJ Day in 1945. Meanwhile, all traffic has stopped in Times Square, as I say, from 3 blocks south to 10 blocks north. A solid mass of people who care not what the future may be, except that right now they're here to celebrate and assert their happiness that the old is gone and the new, promising, hopeful new year is ahead. Meanwhile, quietly across the street, the lights of Cecil DeMille's 10 Commandments blink, calling moviegoers to that hit as it's been running for almost 2 years now. Down below in the other theaters, the lights are flashing, and up above the Great White Way will be luring the visitors to New York and those New Yorkers themselves who penetrate to this center of the city. All signs of the continuation of those parts of our national life that Times Square speaks of. Across the land, with the sweep of the sun and the time zones, there'll be other celebrations, just as there are now already 6 hours of 1958 in Europe, and a giant firecracker was set off by someone right below us, and 2 or 3 people have fallen back in dismay. A girl is rubbing her burned, singed knee, but it's only part of the fun in Times Square. This is Ben Grauer reporting from the marquee of the Sheraton Astor Hotel, trying to be heard above the enormous din of this crowd. NBC now continues its 1958 edition of the great New Year's Eve All-Star Parade of Bands. 4 more hours of the nation's top performers, plus visits to Baden-Baden and Germany for the Eddie Sauter Orchestra, to England for Big Ben and the Ted Heath Orchestra, music from behind the Iron Curtain, yes, at a Moscow cafe. It's a magic carpet around the world on NBC tonight. Right now, we have a table for you at the jazz corner of the world. So from Times Square, we say so long and take you to New York's famous Birdland for the one and only Count Basie.